Eric, what do you look for when bringing on an intern?
So, uh, like I said, the lab does operate at a pretty high standard. So, um, we even for interns, we drill them like we drill people who are applying for jobs. So we put them through the same tests. We give them a written test. We interview them, and they get paid. Our interns get paid. Um, uh, Pretty well actually. So our expectation is pretty high. We're looking for serious intellectual capacity. So we'll give them some really challenging problems that I'll say will reflect their ability to problem solve, their mathematics acumen. We'll give them coding challenges, just how to sort, index, move data around. We read their code. So we give everyone, you can code in whatever you like. You can even write pseudocode if you want, but we're going to review it and assess how well you code. And then we, for some, not necessarily for interns. I don't think we've done this for interns for a while, but we've actually created a synthetic corpus of data
Hmm.
that we pass to somebody and give them 72 hours to clean. They have to figure out all the problems with it, and then they model based on some things they feel they can predict off the data, and then we have them take us through their cleaning process and their modeling process, and that's a pretty clear picture of what you're getting in the door. So if you don't feel confident that you can pass that kind of so they're basically two types of people, right? Somebody who hears what I just said and they get pretty pumped and they go, you know I want to try.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I gotta do it. I want to strut my stuff. I want to show what I'm capable of, and hopefully what I've got is going to make the cut. And there are going to be other people that hear that and go, ooh, forget that. I don't want anything to do with that. So who you are when you're listening to this, right? And that's uh, once you start putting people through rigor of that, there's almost a self-selection process. If you make it through the
Mhm.
process, there's a good chance you want to be there and we want you. If you wilt like a wallflower, uh, that says a lot right there too.
What are some of the soft skills you're looking for?
Humility. Humility is number one. Most of the people that we hire have done very well academically. They're used to being top of their class, or they're valedictorian or salutatorian often. Not always, but often. Uh, it's not a requirement to go to a top university, but almost all of them went to top universities. It's just the people who wind up making it through the process. And so when you're wrestling with a problem where you might have six scientists in a room and they all have different opinions, they don't always agree. In fact, more often than not, there's a pretty good debate. And so if humility is not a natural characteristic for them, it would create a lot of tension,
Hmm.
right? If you have a lot of folks that are so convinced that they're right that they're gonna be confrontational or aggressive or condescending, or there's lots of these behaviors that you can have if you're not humble, especially in a debate that are all destructive. They're not constructive. So we interview for that. We want people that check their ego at the door, and we're more in pursuit of truth.
Hmm.
It's if we have a debate and there are two or three paths that collectively we can't determine which is the right one, we may pursue all three for a very short period of time and then regroup and say, okay, first fruits, what do we see, what looks like it's going to bear the most chance for success, and then we scale back to and go make our bet on one. So it's got to be a group that's willing to work that way, or an individual that's willing to work that way in a group. And so that's probably the biggest one. The second one, which is important, is communication. When you get, we're generally, I mean this in the nicest way, a bunch of geeks, and so we'll tend to work through things the way that we like to think about it, which every single person in the lab, I say, has their own. Sorry about that. Has their own superpower, and because of that superpower, they look at things differently, and their ability to express or articulate what's in their mind to everyone else is important. If they, almost shell up or seal up in their own little world that only they understand, it's not helpful. We
Mm.
can't progress the thinking around that. So we do interview for that too. So humility and communication are probably the two soft skills that you have to check the boxes on.
Thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Data Talk podcast. To watch the full episode, you can either go to the Experian blog. The URL is experian.com/datatalk, or you can click on the link, which is found in the description of this video.